Warning, the following presentation contains cold, hard truths that might change the way you think. Viewer discretion won't do you any good now.
It's been 5 years since Destiny 2 was handed down from the heavens. And people still can't decide if it's an MMORPG or not. Yes, I am a closet Destiny player. I mean, just look at this game. It has the depth and intricacy of a great RPG, with the combat and weapon system of a slick first-person shooter. I like it a lot more than Call of Duty because it's not a US Army recruitment propaganda tool, and I like it a lot more than Overwatch because it isn't showered in controversy like the use of input converters, a toxic community, cultural stereotypes, unlicensed gambling, sexualization of characters. Actually, that game sounds awesome. When Destiny 1 first came out, some people didn't know what to think. It was criticized for being Farmville for shooter fans. Although, it's not like you're sitting around watching plants grow. You're in the middle of serious action. Destiny 1 was ambitious, with good decisions conflicting with questionable ones. For example, the game actually featured Paul McCartney on the soundtrack, but they also apparently threw out a bunch of dialogue written by David Cross. And in case you're wondering, those were both questionable decisions. But Destiny racked up 10 million players in the first 2 months of its release. People clearly liked the game, whether they wanted to admit it or not. When Destiny 2 came out, people acted like complete bitches about it. The main complaint was that the sequel was too similar to the first game and felt more like a reboot. Whatever the fuck that means. A lot of people thought the first Destiny had a better tone and more mystery. Yeah. If you like things that are cryptic to the point of being incomplete and filled with plot holes. People have said that they prefer the subtlety of Destiny 1. You people wouldn't know subtlety if it bludgeoned you over the head. Now, this could be unrealistic, but I would prefer if all the ladies watching this video would stop watching right now. Because, and this is a completely true story, back when the first Destiny was new, I remember one night when my girlfriend at the time was sound asleep, I turned on my Xbox and started playing a little Destiny. With headphones on. She woke up, saw me playing it, broke up with me the next day. That is an absolutely true story. Just the very sight of that game caused her to completely reject me as a man. She took one look at this and was like, we're done. So I was a little trepidatious about taking on Destiny 2. If you're diving into this series for the first time, let's face it, it's beyond daunting. It looks like it was designed by aliens. You probably won't know what content to focus on or why, and you'll probably be lost in terms of story unless you play some of the older content leading up to the latest expansion. All you really need to know is that you are a guardian who uses a power called the Light to fight off hostile alien races and protect what remains of humanity from an impending force called the Darkness. So basically, you don't need to know anything. Destiny 2 is about two things: shooting and looting. You do this through various quest lines on a handful of different worlds, each with their own story beats, dungeons, NPCs, reward tiers, and free roam exploration, which can lead to patrols, public events, and lost sectors. Destiny is the best game for dropping right into some multiplayer action. It's very easy to land somewhere, find people, and start shooting something. But the most important part of being in the Destiny community is looking cool and being hilarious with emotes. You gotta make sure you have the right shaders, the right fashion, and some sleek weapon ornaments. Because if you don't, you will come off as a total jamoke to the Destiny community. In fact, I really wish this game would have something of a fashion show. And maybe even a dance-off like in the Final Fantasy VII Remake. What's the point of defending humanity if we're not gonna look good doing it? And what kind of humanity is worth defending if they don't want to look at us looking good? This game is a multitasker's dream come true. You can do a quest while doing bounties, while doing a public event, while grinding for a weapon catalyst, while grinding for a weekly pinnacle. You'll often be completing things on the side that you won't even know you're completing. The game is packed with background checklists like triumphs and seasonal challenges. Although having to click on all of these is absolutely torturous. Please just give me a button to do this all in one click. I mean, why not? But the thing that really sets this game apart from other shooters is how massive it is. Levels just stretch beyond what the eyes can see. And although you're normally just running and gunning through them, the dungeons and raids offer much slower exploration where you really get to see how much insane detail goes into the level design. But in order to really have fun in this game, you have to care about the weapons. Look at them, marvel at them, listen to their amazing sound design. Find which ones suit your playstyle and always seek out better ones, whether it's by doing the latest activities, focusing on exotic weapon quests, or crafting your own weapons and grinding them. Now, the free version of Destiny does give you access to patrols, playlist activities, Dares of Eternity, a dungeon, 2 raids, and some of the seasonal events. If you just want to play this game casually and not take it seriously, that may be enough content for you. But if you want to get good gear and actually complete those dungeons and raids, you're going to have to get down with some expansions. I plunked down enough cash to buy the entire game in one blow. Yes, it was over $100, but this was kind of my revenge on that girl for breaking up with me for the first Destiny. You think I was a loser then? Well, how you like me now? Once you do have access to all the game's content, you'll see just the overwhelming amount of ways there are to earn rewards and get better gear. Destiny 2 piles so many different progression ladders on top of each other. Each campaign has its own, along with gambits, vanguards, that seasonal war table shit, and PvP activities. And within PvP, there are others like Iron Banner and Trials of Osiris. Destiny 2 has grown a lot over the years. The subclass system has gotten more refined. Build crafting in general has gone through some overhauls. But the latest expansion, Lightfall, has been quite the controversial one. Lightfall introduced a new campaign and destination, which were anything but a hit with players, along with some massive changes to the core of the game, which surprisingly did not piss that many people off. Before Lightfall, build crafting was pretty different. All of the armor mods that you can cycle through just went through kind of an overhaul, and the results are surprisingly unshitty. They did away with weapon-based armor mods and replaced them with elemental ones. They changed how the seasonal artifact works. Instead of having to equip these as mods, they now act as passive perks. And they finally added a loadout system to the game. These simplifications, along with the new armor mod menu, are the saving grace of Lightfall. I also really enjoyed some of the new events, like the new Defiant Battlegrounds and Terminal Override, which feels kind of like Nightmare Containment, another activity I had no problem repeating infinitely. But even so, Lightfall is a total mixed bag, and having to follow in the footsteps of the Witch Queen, by far the coolest expansion yet, Lightfall's campaign never stood a chance. I played Lightfall with 2 friends who are longtime Destiny aficionados, and these were actual phrases that they uttered during our playthrough of the campaign. No one is here for this. What's going on? Why are we still playing? Fuck you, Bungie. I think the campaign felt a little off for a few reasons. First of all, the story was the epitome of who gives a shit. Second, they tease you with the new subclass Strand the entire time, but only let you acquire it after you beat the entire campaign. But on the other hand, this leads to one of the most rewarding experiences in the game. Trying to beat that campaign on Legendary was no easy task, but getting such a fun new subclass as a reward sort of made it worth it. Now, a lot of people cared way too much that the story sucked. I personally don't care that much about story in games. Does Banjo-Tooie have a great story? Fuck no. But I can see why people would care in a game like this. You want to like the story in this game. It looks like it should have a good story. But then again, I really don't feel like this game owes me a good story. I just enjoy playing it. And to be honest, the story didn't even suck that much. The post-campaign content had some good moments, and everything that Lance Reddick did was so great. I had such cathartic enjoyment from all his scenes. The other main new addition to Lightfall is the location of Neomuna itself, a human city on Neptune developed in secret before the collapse. Some people have pointed out that the city feels a little bland and empty. Well, it ain't no Cyberpunk, that's for sure. But hey, it's better than the Halloween decorations Bungie strung up last October. This looks like someone went to Party City on a very small budget and was like, what do you have on discount? And they were like, well, we have all these leftover glow-in-the-dark things that no one bought. We'll give you 24 boxes for $9. Now, Destiny's ultimate criticism is one that still stands. This is the same grindy-ass game it always was. I know that's going to piss off some people, like my friends who I play Destiny with, but a lot of quests in this game just involve repeating the same activity a bunch of times over. There are times when I personally don't mind doing that, but if you think you're just going to incidentally clear all of these quests in the background, that's just not going to happen. The good news is, if the speculation and theories are correct, the game is about to do away with its biggest grind yet, that of light levels. Up until now, one of the main goals in this game has been increasing your light level by grinding for better gear and infusing higher numbers into the gear that you prefer using. Apparently, they're going to somehow get rid of the need to do this. Although I've gotten so used to it that I don't mind doing a shitload of infusing. Remember, as Joel Osteen said, if you don't use it, infuse it. Something that might deter people from playing Destiny 2 is the fact that in order to play without headaches, you need to use multiple companion apps alongside the game. For example, the Destiny app displays a full list of bounties to pick from. This should be in the game. Nobody wants to physically visit NPCs. Get out of here. And Destiny Item Manager, a totally separate app, has a gear rating system that is very helpful when sifting through random weapon drops that you will be drowning in. Now, I don't mind having my phone and computer open while I'm playing a game. It's like I'm in a little command center. Also, I live alone, so I really don't have to worry about anyone seeing me doing this. But the fact that you have to use two separate apps to play this game at its full potential might turn some people off. I'm just saying. But if you asked me, what is the saving grace of Destiny? You might be surprised at my answer. You see, I don't usually get into PvP in modern games. I'm usually so terrible, it's like a fly is being swatted. And I mean, swatted. But the PvP in Destiny is what made me really love Destiny. I know that sounds incredibly stupid to some people, maybe even completely ass backwards, but being able to take your hard-earned exotic weapons and loadouts into the public forum to show people who's boss gives a whole new level of reward to everything you do in PvE. At first, I was pure garbage. It felt like one of those impossible hurdles, like climbing a mountain in a Bethesda game, or the Final Fantasy Lightning Challenge. But after you acquire some good weapons in the main game, handing people a plate with their own ass on it becomes very addictive. For a while I was on this trespasser and sniper rifle kick. I'd call that my first baby steps phase. But when I discovered the combination of the Rat King and BXR Battler, let's just say I became a real rat on the battlefield. Come on now. I mean, look, I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but look at that score. That is not a bullshit score. Look at this insane sequence. I make an ice wall behind this guy so he can't back up, then I freeze him, then shoot him dead. I'll be honest, this all happened by accident. I was kind of just panicking. But this guy got to see my full resume. Okay, check this out. I kill one person, then another, then a third, then I fall off a cliff. I didn't say it was a great moment, but it is funny. Or how about when you bait people into a trap and then just cowardly stab them in the back? I actually almost feel bad. But again, it's very funny. Now, like in most PvP games, people like to do what I call tap dancing, the strafing left and right to avoid getting hit. I don't tap dance. I stand in place and duel like a man. I'm like Clint Eastwood. You know you're playing against some real micropeens when you see this Lord of the Dance Baryshnikov bullshit on the battlefield. Another sign that someone is a complete bitch is the use of supers in a non-mayhem PvP match. Attention, Bungie. Add a PvP mode that has no supers. Stand in place and duel me like a man. Although it is hilarious getting into a duel with someone using supers and then winning. Look at this. So fucking ridiculous. Destiny 2 is a weird game, but I'm glad I waited until now to review it, because I think it's finally, yes, right now, finally becoming the game that it was destined to be. They are trying to make this game even more accessible and even more fun. I mean, it took them 5 years just to add the ability to auto-fire every weapon. Now that's accessibility. If Bungie can clean up Lightfall's bugs, and there are some, I would say this could be the best time to play Destiny. There's still one final expansion down the road, and things can only go up from here. Sure, the game has some repetition, but it's also always changing, and the scope of it has grown so much, it's impossible to deny what an impressive creation this is. If you like the thought of blazing through hordes of intergalactic scum, while customizing loadouts and experimenting with incredibly designed sci-fi weaponry, you should at least try the free version of this game and get on board now, so you can have enough months to catch up before the grand finale. As for me, I'm going to commit my entire existence to this game. In fact, right now, I'm going to upload my consciousness to Destiny, like that lethal netcom procedure, leaving my physical body for good and entering that of a level 1800 warlock. All that's left to say now is, I will see you at the tactic.